Oh man, let me just make sure we're going here for the patron stream. There we go. We're kicking. All right. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Hope everyone is well. Welcome to the patron stream, where I respond directly to the patrons, and the replay is only available on the Patreon. Thank you so much for being a patron. First and foremost, without you, Get Your News On with Ron would literally be impossible. It wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be able to do this. It is where I'm at. It is 5:30 on a Saturday night. I'm getting ready to go to the comedy club Flappers in Burbank, where I'm doing a set on the early show. Just doing a 5-minute spot. It's just a showcase type show, but I'm excited for my show tonight. And then tomorrow night, for anybody who sees this either tonight or tomorrow, I will be on the Jimmy Dore live show at the Dojo of Comedy Sycamore Tavern. That's tomorrow night, November 3rd. So I'll be writing for that the rest of the evening. That's my evening. I'm going to go do a spot. Then I'm going to write for tomorrow's show. It's going to be a good one for anyone in the know, or anyone who's going, rather, I'm sure everyone's in the know, but some of you may or may not be in Los Angeles. But if you're going to the Jimmy Dore show tomorrow, I will see you there. I will be there with bells on. Where does that phrase come from, by the way? Does anyone know? Leave comments below if you know. Where's that? I'll be there with bells on. Like, where does that come from? What does that mean? I've said it before. I think we've all said it. Do any of us know what that actually means? I have no idea what that means. About a year ago, I found out what shit on shingles means. And I was really stoked when I found that out. Now, my mom used to say that all the time when I was a kid. Like, whenever I'd be like, Mom, what's for dinner? She'd be like, shit on shingles. Bah! And it was funny, and it would make me laugh because my mom cursed, and that's funny. But I never knew what that meant. I thought my mom made it up, shit on shingles. I thought she made it up. Turns out, back in the day in Edinburgh, and other places as well, I'd imagine. But I learned this fact in Edinburgh. Back in the day, people who had smaller houses would sometimes live down below, or they would have kind of long roofs, and they would have to dump their chamber pot out in the street. They would just dump it out, and of course, the chamber pot is just a big pot of shit. They would just dump that chamber pot out, and it would get on the roof sometimes, so it would mix in with the shingles. So that would be a way to put somebody down, be like, yeah, you're shit on shingles. It'd be like an insult, or it'd be like, go eat shit on shingles. But that's where it came from, because they would dump their chamber pots out and they would literally get shit all over their shingles. That's where that comes from. When I got back to the States, I told my mom, I was really stoked. I was like, Mom, I know where shit on shingles comes from now. I found out. Like, the tops of their houses, they had like there'd be shit on it because they would just dumping it all out. I love it. Anyway, so let me get to some of the patrons here. This is from Andrew, and Andrew says to me, hey, I have a fun idea. Would you like to do a stream dedicated to Embassy Cat? The Vigil crew have floated the idea, having a feline celebrity like Lucy might help to drum up the cat vote in support of saving press freedom. Where is Lucy, by the way? Lucy, come here. I don't know where is that. I can't tell if that's her on the couch or a black blanket. So we do have a black blanket that lives on the couch, and it's dark in this room other than the stream lights. And usually when we do Get Your News On with Ron in the daytime, the sun is out, but the sun is starting to set now, and I have all my blinds closed because it's better for the lighting here. So I can't tell if that's Lucy on the couch or the blanket. The fact that I have gotten no response, totally the blanket. In fact, yeah, I'm zeroing in on it. It's the blanket. It's not Lucy. Lucy's rummaging around somewhere. There she is. She heard. Yeah, we're talking about you. Come here. You have a question. Here, come here. Come on. Everybody wants to see you. It's Saturday night, and I got to go do a show in a little bit here. All right. So, Lucy, Andrew wants to know, would you like to do a stream dedicated to Embassy Cat? So Embassy Cat, of course, is Julian Assange's cat. The cat is in safe hands. To my understanding, it is no longer with Julian Assange, but the cat is in safe hands to the extent of my knowledge. And of course, I of course hope that's true. And yeah, I'd be happy to help out. So Andrew, for anyone not familiar with Andrew's work, he is involved with Action for Assange himself and another person named Taylor Hudak. They do amazing things. They do a stream for Julian Assange. Steve over at Slow News Day is involved with that too. They do a stream for Julian Assange every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. I've been on it before. I don't get to go on it a whole lot because 7 p.m. during a weeknight is not the most ideal time for me. That's usually when I'm out doing stand-up or I'm usually somewhere during that time. It's not the easiest time for me to honor, but when I can, I like to help out with their stream. So I guess, Andrew, to answer your question, sure, Lucy would love to help out, and I would love to help out as well. So yeah, we can definitely do an Embassy Cat-themed thing sometime, maybe at a different time if possible. But yeah, drop me a message. We will work that out. Whenever you have these casual conversations about Julian Assange, and I guess maybe casual conversations is the wrong way to put it, but whenever you have a conversation about Julian Assange with somebody who maybe isn't following it closely and they kind of say that thing, well, he should come to the United States and stand trial. And don't you want to just say, for what? What did he do? What is he standing trial for? What does he owe the United States? What crime did he commit? Because really, well, publishing is not a crime. Well, he aided the Russians. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, he helped with that. What does that mean? He helped Donald Trump. First of all, there's a ton of unflattering things about Donald Trump on WikiLeaks, first of all. Second of all, he just published things. If you're convinced that the stuff he published led to Donald Trump's victory, your anger should not be with Julian Assange. It should be with the DNC. And it should be with the Clinton campaign. Because Julian Assange didn't publish lies. He published the truth. He did his job. If you're convinced that that's why Trump won, your anger should be with the DNC. That's where your anger should be at, not Julian Assange. So when you get into what did he do, and I think the casual person, they just repeat this stuff because they've heard it so many times. And that's like lesson one in propaganda. Repeat a lie so many times that people think it's true. And you even hear candidates doing it. Andrew Yang recently, and he's just the first one I can think of. I'm sure others have done it too. But Andrew Yang recently, oh yeah, I think Julian Assange should come to the United States to stand trial. For what? What does the United States? That's why they keep trying to get Chelsea Manning to say that Julian Assange helped her hack things. Because just publishing is not a crime. Taking documents for publication from a whistleblower, that's not a crime. But if Julian Assange helped Chelsea Manning, well, that's a crime. And they have no evidence that that took place. Chelsea Manning has denied it repeatedly. But they're basically torturing Chelsea Manning again, more or less, because they want her to say that so bad. So they actually have something against Assange. That's what they're trying to do. Oh, and why is Chelsea Manning still facing this brutal treatment? Well, because Barack Obama didn't actually pardon her, which I have made that misspeak at times myself. And I always try to make sure I correct it. It's really, it's kind of an easy slip of the tongue to do, but we all have to be careful. And I'm pointing at myself here too. Obama didn't actually pardon her. He just commuted her sentence after torturing her for 6 years. He commuted her sentence. So basically, she still doesn't have all the rights she would have had she received an actual pardon, which is why they can still do the nonsense that they're doing. And nonsense is a very, very diplomatic way to put it. Nonsense is putting it very gently. Authoritarian brutality is a more accurate definition of what's going on when it comes to Chelsea Manning, of what's going on when it comes to Julian Assange, of what's going on when it comes to Edward Snowden, which, by the way, another connected thing here. And again, Lucy is all about doing a thing for Embassy Cat. Right, Lucy? I have to get her some catnip. I realized that the other day. I had some friends over. We partook in some fresh greens like you do with friends. And usually, I think that Lucy, at this point in her life, Lucy's about 13 years old. I think at this point in her life, she associates the smell of pot with a good time. Because as the years have gone by, usually if I'm going to partake, I give her some catnip because that's fair. Like, we kind of get stoned together. Why wouldn't you do that? So I think whenever she smells pot, she's like, I'm going to have a good time too. Awesome. But I didn't have any catnip for her. I'm out. So I just gave her a treat instead. And she was very vocal, like my friends and I were hanging out, and she was very vocal, and she was just like, dude. And I told them, I'm like, I'm pretty sure she knows this smell, and she's expecting some catnip, but I don't have any to give her. And I apologize for that, Lucy. I got to go buy you some. I will try to do that tomorrow. That's a promise. Maybe even tonight. The show I'm doing is at 7:30, which, by the way, if any of you are in the Los Angeles area, stop by Flappers Comedy Club at 7:30 tonight. I'll be telling some jokes on the first show. And then I'll be returning probably to here, and I'll be writing a bunch of things for the Jimmy Dore show tomorrow, which, by the way, if any of you are coming to the Jimmy Dore show tomorrow, it's going to be a killer one, and I cannot wait to see you there. All right. So, Andrew, to answer your question, yes, I'd be happy to do something like that. Lucy's down too. Don't worry. We'll work out the contracts. We'll figure it out. So there you go. Udals over on the Patreon recommends that something that would help Bernie win would be to have a sustainable Earth or planet party. Yeah, I'd be for it. Why not? I think we need a new party in this country. That's why I showed up at the Convergence conference in Washington, D.C., where we pressured Bernie Sanders to start a new party. We all know what happened. He was not interested in doing that. But right, Lucy? I know it's sad. She's like, we only have two parties. Do something about it. She's like, go change that. We only have two parties. What kind of democratic experiment only has two parties? Go do something. Lucy, I'm doing what I don't know what else I can do about that. I don't have much power there, Lucy. I have voted for peace and freedom candidates before. I have voted for Green Party candidates before. I have voted for progressives who are Dem entering before. Electoral politics, it's, not really my lane necessarily. Lucy, I'm doing what I can. But I think that if we ever did get a viable third party in this country, which I hope we get, I mean, really, I want a viable third party so that we can have two parties in this country. You know what I mean? But Planet Party would be pretty cool. You know me, big sucker for alliteration. So Planet Party, I'd be all about that. In fact, Udals, great idea. Let's call it Planet Party. I am all about it. Hashtag Planet Party. Start using it. Start spreading it. Because, I don't have a better name. People's Party. Obviously Nick Brana and everyone over at MPP, which I'm a big fan of Movement for a People's Party. But we could call it, you know what? Let's invite everyone to the table. People's Planet Party. Boom. Now it's like, not only is that a cool name for a political party, it's all inclusive, but we kind of sound like superheroes a little bit. People's Planet Party. I like it. People's Party's cool too. Planet Party, also great. What was the other thing Udals brought up? Sustainable Earth Party. Let's stick to the piece, Let's stick with the alliteration. I kind of dig that. But, yeah. Planet Party. That's kind of interesting. I like it. What are you going to do? So, guys, let me see if I have any other messages from the patrons for this week. I know, Lucy, right? She knows I'm supposed to be doing something. She's like, don't you have a show? What are you doing? Why are you? It's not morning. What are you doing this? It's the patron stream, Lucy. It's the patron stream. All right. Let me make sure I covered everything. Just gonna make sure I got everything from this week. And then I got a couple other things I will get to. So Udals also adds, which we need is a green stock market, which funds green project and accrues green profits. Then later we will sue people and allow for all sorts of class action lawsuits for glyphosate and products, for toxins in air, for damages to the environment on regular stock market drive profits, and thus ultimately incline wealthy interest in investors in investing only in the safe stocks of the green stock market. Interesting. I do know that in Colorado, there are some like nonprofit community banks centered around the pot industry. And then they also invest in different things in the communities. I don't know all the details around this, but I think that kind of bleeds into the idea of a green stock market where the stocks are only in green sustainable projects and ventures. Of course, I like that idea. I also really like the idea of actual just straight up community banks. And public banking. I think that's a killer idea. We're moving forward with it in California, which is a good thing. Hopefully we get one in Los Angeles proper very soon. And we're working on that, huh, Lucy? Right? Lucy would love a bank that consists exclusively of salmon and cat treats. That's what she wants. That's the type of bank she could get on board with. She's like, I want a bank where it's just cat treats and salmon and tuna and her food. You get it. Right, Lucy? Cats don't need money. You know what? Someone said this to me recently, too. Apparently, so the reason that we really kept the cats around back in the day, we domesticated dogs, right? And it was because they helped us with hunting. The main reason the cats were domesticated was because they kept the rats at bay. When one of the popes, it was Pope Innocent, I believe, exiled all the cats because he thought they were demons, people got the plague because the diseased rats were everywhere. Right, Lucy? You guys kept us safe from the rats. And how do we repay you? We banished you. We have come a long way. We have evolved some ever since. But that's why I think I'm pretty sure if cats had religion, they would all be atheists. They would all be like devout atheists. They would all just be like, no, man, that shit almost got us killed. Got a bunch of us killed. We are not for any organized religion. That's my guess. I don't know. But anyway, what someone told me was that allegedly cats actually domesticated themselves. They just sort of showed up and they took a liking to us being people. And they were like, you guys have a certain exchange of goods. We think it's kind of civilized and on board. We'll stick around. You can feed us. You can take care of us. You can give us shelter. You can work for a living so that we have a nice quality of life in your establishment, or you can just let us run around outside. We'll eventually come back when we need something. In exchange, don't have to worry about those rats. We got it. We got the rats under wraps. Say that 5 times fast. I can't. A cat could. They're smarter than we realize. They're way... I wouldn't be surprised if one day we found out they understood everything. I wouldn't be surprised. They were like, no, they choose not to talk. They understand it all. They understand it all. They get all of the complexities. It wouldn't shock me. All right. Kathy Lloyd, thank you very, very much for the very generous Super Chat contribution. Thank you very, very much for that. Grow your catnip, Ron, for the love of Lucy. I would love to. I don't know how to grow it. I would love to do that. So Lucy's favorite form of catnip is bubbles. She likes the bubbles, which and they're environmentally okay too. They just sort of devolve and they're mostly just liquid. But that's her favorite type of catnip. So I try to get the bubbles for her. What she does is she chases them and she busts them with her paw. Then she licks her paw and she's like, oh shit, Give me more of those bubbles to chase. I want to lick the fuck out of this paw. And that's what we do. But I will look into growing it. I'm admittedly really bad at that stuff. I haven't had a plant of any kind in my entire adult life. Never had a plant. Not on purpose. I just never had one, right? I got Lucy a while ago. I've had Lucy for a long time now. And she actually, she kind of just ran into the house I was living in with my college buddies one day and was like, hey, guys, I'm going to live here now. That's how we got Lucy. So she backs up the theory that cats just kind of domesticated themselves. But anyway. And I'll leave you guys with this. Beto O'Rourke dropped out. We all know Beto O'Rourke dropped out. So I had to update my poem to him. Some are born to run. Some are born to lose. You finally realized which one you are. Guy who couldn't beat Ted Cruz. So long, Beto. You will not be missed. Guys, thank you so much for being part of this. Kathy, thank you very much for that very generous super chat contribution. Utils, thank you for your thoughts. Andrew, thank you for your thoughts and for all your work. And yes, get in touch with me about that stream you mentioned. We will figure that out and get it going. And of course, you can check Andrew out over on Action for Assange every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And I will be back on Monday for Music Monday. In the meantime, this has been the Patron Stream. Thank you so much for your patronage. I could not do this without you. It would be impossible to do this without you. So thank you very much for being a patron. Thank you very much for all your support. And have a great rest of the weekend. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.